Hello, my name is J. Edward Goldman, and I am speaking to you from my psychotherapy office here in West LA, also known as Power Therapy LA. Here we are, over halfway through the first month of 2014, and it also happens to be Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday that we celebrate. And I think this is a really great opportunity to address you once again and to use the ideas of Martin Luther King Jr. to illustrate what I have to offer through power therapy and how I can give you something different than you might receive from other psychotherapists in the Los Angeles area. Now, in a speech called "Where Do We Go From Here?", Martin Luther King Jr. Stated the following with regards to power and love. He said, "Power properly understood is nothing but the ability to achieve purpose. It is the strength required to bring about social, political, and economic change. And one of the great problems of history is that the concepts of love and power have usually been contrasted as opposites, polar opposites, so that love is identified with the resignation of power, and power with the denial of love. Now we've got to get this thing right. What we need to realize is that power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. It is precisely this collision of immoral power with powerless morality which constitutes the major crisis of our time." Now, why do I find this quote to be so relevant and applicable to psychotherapy and individual, couple, family, and social change? Well, it doesn't have to do with the last sentence, morality, so much. It has to do with this idea of balancing out power and love. We have not been able to do that very effectively as an American society, and there are many other societies that have also had issues with this. This is what Martin Luther King Jr. is speaking to. We could spend great time reviewing historical examples of abusive and reckless power without love, and we could also think of many examples of sentimental and anemic love without power. That wouldn't really serve our purposes here. Now, in terms of psychotherapy, what I see very much of in 2014 within this greater Los Angeles community that I serve people is what we would call sentimental and anemic love without power. Therapy is very supportive, safe, comfortable, emotionally explorative and expressive, and often therapy occurs with a female therapist, and not very often with male therapists that have a more, let's say, powerful approach to offer. More of that power in addition to love that Martin Luther King Jr. is advocating. Now, this is somewhat related to the fact that the field of psychotherapy began in a very biased manner with white European males such as Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and the like. So that needed to be corrected historically over time in the 60s and 70s, and a lot of those changes were quite necessary and very important. However, where we find ourselves today is in a state where psychotherapy is not as effective and it's not as time efficient as it could be. It's not utilizing all the best research, and it's not integrating all the best knowledge that we have from diverse fields. That is why I created power therapy, in order to balance the love that psychotherapy has offered for so many decades with the power that we know is possible within this field to promote individual, couple, and family change. Now, it's easy to illustrate this idea if we imagine a family in which there are two parents. The parents could be male, they could be female, but one of the parents is extremely permissive and has that love, the support, and that sort of sentimental and anemic love that Martin Luther King Jr. is speaking about. The other parent could be authoritarian, power hungry, very much into his or her own control. And what we have is the classic family situation, which is not healthy, and which is both a product of a society that's imbalanced in terms of love and power, and that also furthers society in that dysfunctional, unhealthy direction. This is what I would address with a family in therapy. Many of us come from families like this, and we bring that dynamic into our romantic relationships and our marriages. We also go and pass on that dynamic to our children. So it's an intergenerational transmission of values, behavior patterns, and really everything. We have got to address this. Relationships in Los Angeles are extremely out of balance. There are two partners that both want incredible amounts of power, external power. We're not talking about the deepest levels of power and the highest levels of power. We're talking about people battling each other over all kinds of external, superficial factors and variables in relationships. And often relationships don't last that long, and often marriages end because of this problem, and families are broken up. I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to share this idea of Martin Luther King Jr.'s today with you on this wonderful holiday that we celebrate for very good reason. I believe that power therapy has the potential to balance power with love, and to do it in a way that is clear, direct, makes sense, and that integrates everything we know about human beings. So that there is a way to be healthy within yourself, to be happy in relationships, and to eventually promote healthy, balanced families in which communication flows freely, in which there are healthy boundaries, in which problems can be solved efficiently, in which there is reciprocity between both partners, whether we're talking heterosexual family relationship or gay or lesbian or whatever the case might be. It's very important that we use this wisdom from Martin Luther King Jr. in our lives. Therapy is a really great way to address that. I hope that you will consider checking out my website. It is powertherapyla.com, and contacting me if you would like to receive some help for yourself, for you and your partner, or even your family. Thank you for listening and watching, and I wish you the best of luck in 2014.